today's topic, team building. It's really a challenging topic because this is need of the hour, right? So, in what way this topic helps us in today's scenario is like we have been our students. Hope all of you, we are all faculty members here. We can be free in interacting and sharing our views. This team building is it's terribly, I think, coordinating with the team is terribly lacking after the pandemic. I mean, we have to categorize students before pandemic, students after, post pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So if we consider in that way, we find there is a lot of gaps. I mean, a lot of gap that need to be that is very difficult for us to mend. This team building is one of the aspects which I find practically uh, with my students, and it is the same when I keep interacting with my friends. I get the same I mean view from them. So here I would like to share my views on this topic, team building in higher education institutions. So in what way this is going to help us, right? First thing is, we are here to train the students, to train the learners. So these learners actually, when they uh, just a minute, I'll just share my screen. Okay, now is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So
Ma'am, can you change it to full screen mode, ma'am?
yes, ma'am, yes, 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 sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I hope it's okay now.
Yes, ma'am, it's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So this topic, team. So this is very, very important for today's learners. So because once they complete their studies and they enter into the globalized job market, so everywhere we find they have to be one way or the other way, they have to be with the team. So fixing themselves, adapting themselves into the team is really a challenge for today's learners. That's what I said post pandemic. These are all the drawbacks of post pandemic. So because they are more exposed towards the technology and they are not able to build a proper rapport among their own counterparts, their own friends. It's all like what do you call? It's a rolling stone like attitude that has drastically developed among the learners. So in that case, fixing themselves and getting along with the job is really a challenge. So let me begin with this a small what do you call an expansion of this term. T for together, E for everyone, and A for achieves, M for more. So when we are put together, we are able to achieve more. So this is what we have to make them understand. And what is this team building actually? So a small a definition of it. So that empowers members, that enhance the members' self-confidence. So this is mainly, it is to develop the self-confidence of the students. So their own capabilities, their own skills are being revealed when they are put in the team, right? So they learn to appreciate each other, and the authority that they have got to complete the task. So the belongingness, so appreciate each other. So all these qualities they develop in the course of this team building process. A small definition. This is an ongoing process. So as we are all familiar with this, so working in a group, and we are in a cohesive unit, what we call, and we share our expectations, we accomplish our task, we develop trust, trust among each other, and we learn to respect each other. So in spite of these individual differences, we learn to respect each other. So this is a primary requisite and the primary what you call the protocol of team building. And I have a small quote. Sarah Kenneth, a youth leadership educator at the Michigan State University. So, according to her, how she values team building activities for students is like it is guiding members through intentional games. So, how to develop all these, how to train all these. So, when they are put in the corporate industry, job market, that is different. But we are here as trainers here, right? So in that case, how are we going to train them? So we need to develop more activities for them, right? So activities through games or though that could improve, that could help them to improve their skills, and which will transfer these work into projects later. And many activities, they incorporate these skills, which paves way for them to be active listeners, to be active participants, questioning assumptions, clear directions, problem solving, learning, and asking so many questions. So all these they develop, they learn in the process of team building, right? So a small diagrammatic representation. So team communication is there, team behavior, team mindset, and team spirit. We can categorize under four broad areas. So what is this team communication is in order to achieve effective communication. So how do we listen and talk? We listen, we talk, we speak. So this is how we need to get along with the students, right? So active listening, discipline, dialogue, feedback. So all these are certain strategies we can make use of. And here, coming to the next one, team behavior is what effective behavior is. So everybody need to develop themselves in the what do you call, in the stream of behavior. Behavior pattern is very, very important. So that they learned in the process of being in a team, right? So meeting procedures, our alignment, decision making, problem solving, all these are certain strategies that they learn. And next, coming to this team spirit. So team spirit. Okay, next I'll go for this mindset. So team mindset is like how we think and how we feel, and how we are going to express it, make our own team members understand. So openness to others. So no hide and seek there, because we are in a team, we are for a common purpose. So this is how we need to train our students. And we appreciate, we share, we prioritize. So we see to it they are engaged in some sort of what do you call some sort of activity. Next is spirit. So this is a very, very important, the primary and very, very important. So team spirit should be there, right? So how we bond and how we belong, the sense of belongingness is very, very important. And trust, confidence. So belongingness, all these it is under, it is built on mutual trust, confidence, and a sense of commitment. So all these are very, very important to achieve this. Next is, what is this power of team building, right? So we need to make our students understand the power of this team building. So positively charged leaders. So we are, when the leaders are positive, naturally the team members also will be positive, right? In positive thoughts, positive pattern, thinking pattern, positive attitude. So everything. So this naturally it increases employee retention. So this is very, very important. Employee retention is very, very important for an organization. So this again, it paves way for improving the problem solving skills. Next is motivational level. It helps creativity and productivity. It improves internal communication. So this is power of team. Team has this many powers. So this we need to make our learners understand. Next is process. So how does this process get along? A small, what you call, a diagrammatic representation, which I wish to share here. So identify the need for the team building. So why? Why should we go for team building? And we need to define the objectives and the skills that is required. Next is consider the team goals. So in what way this team is important. Next is determine the strategy. Next is develop individuals. So what are those? Who are those members that we are going to put into the team? Next is establish and communicate the rules, because every individual have their own skills. All cannot fit in all activities, right? So according to the activity, according to the objective of the work, so we can fix people, individuals who can be in the team, who are capable enough of doing it. Next is establishing a good communication. Next, identifying individual strength. Next, be a part of the team. Next, monitoring performance. uh, uh, Next is we schedule meetings. Next, dissolve the team. So this is how the process goes on. So step by step process, how to execute the work and how to execute the plan. Next, through the end, how the performance, based on the performance, we schedule it and we close it, right? So so advantages. So what are the advantages of this team building, right? So identify strength and weakness. Next, direct towards vision and mission. Next is develop communication and collaboration. So we establish roles and responsibilities. We initiate the critical thinking, creative thinking, both problem solving, trust, morale. Next, introduce and manage change, facilitate delegation, better productivity. So these are all the major advantages. So I don't mean to say only these are the advantages. These are the major advantages, right? So when team is, we need to make them understand. See, when you're in a team, these are all the advantages. So when you're in solo, so these are all you'll be lacking. So we need to make this learners understand the importance of this. A small next is added to it. We have a small differentiation of these advantages and disadvantages. So here we find more of productivity, so job satisfaction, so quality of work, acceptance of change. So this is very, very important. Adaptive is change, adaptive towards change. Next, commitment to goal, and low turnover and cordial relationship. So development of motivation is achieved only through teamwork. We are, self motivation is also there, external motivation is also there. These two happens only when we are in a team, right? Yes. So this we need to make our students understand, right? Next is less cost and time from the side of the industry. I mean, from the side of the organization, it is less cost and time. And next is we have also a set of disadvantages. So lack of competence, so competency level, there may be ups and downs, and unwillingness of management. People may be, certain people may be reluctant. So this is what it there. Next, certain unwanted internal politics is there. So non-cooperative attitude, people will be there in the team, and conflict. So lack of trust, hide and seek, like. So these are all certain minor, what you call the difficulties. Next is effective team. So what are all those strategies that forms effective a team and effective team, right? First is reliability. Reliability is very, very important. It's very basic. Next is we have a goal. We are goal oriented. Next is we need to have good communication. Next comes respect. So every individual should respect each other in a team. Next is the listening skill. Though we agree with the others' views or not, but first thing is, basic thing is, we should learn to listen. Then we can put forth our views, but we should not resist listening. So these are the qualities. So even many people have these days, and balanced role. So we always need to be neutral, not in a biased way. Next is support, extending full support to the team for the effective work, right? Next is a team building program. So how it is being coordinated. So we'll begin right from the left. So it is verbal, public speaking. Public speaking is open within among the team members. Non-verbal body gesture also may be there. That is, communication is the base. So for the team building program, first step is communication. So communication, what are those that we classify under communication is non-verbal is there, public speaking, that is among the team members, verbal is also there. So critical feedback, listening. So these five components is it is what that forms communication. Next comes creativity. So what are those creativity? So every individual, they may have their own viewpoints, they may have their own ideas and all those. So flexibility should be there among the members. Next, risk taking, innovation. So we have to see whatever I share with you here, my friends. We have to tell all these to our learners to make them understand how important team is. If they are put in a team, how important it is. Yes. So next is collaboration. So collaboration is negotiation. So how we negotiate with each other with respect to the views, and how do we cooperate. Next, conflict arises. How will we resolute? Next is problem solving. Yes, so these are all that comes under collaboration. Next is coming to this side, credibility. Yes, credibility is credible. So trustworthiness, right? Next is reliability. We rely on each other. Values, we need to have the professional ethics is there. So value should be there. Trust should be there. Willingness to learn. So this is very, very important. Person who is there in a team, every person should have that tendency, should have the mindset to learn. So learning has no end, as we know all. So they need to have that, develop that attitude that we are in the learning process. Even we are in the learning process. We faculty, we are also in the learning process every day, right? So for each and everything that we say here, we need to compare ourselves and make the students understand, yes, we are also like this, so you should also be like this. So in that way we can make them understand. So a small, again, a diagrammatic representation like team building, you have leadership, training, communication, you have a goal. Next, this side we have motivation, coaching. Next, again, cooperation, collaboration. So this way we have a goal, motivation. So this way we go get along with the leadership. So 21st century skills, we call this as the skills that follows here. We call these as a very, very, very important, direly needed by the corporate industry, right? So today's students, how can they stay in this competitive environment is, if at all they possess these skills, it is very difficult for them to survive in the globalized environment, right? So even it is applicable for us also. So critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. So these are all we categorize under learning skills, right? Next is literacy skills, what we call. So literacy is, we have to be updated, we have to be informative, we have to keep in touch with media, we have to be technologically to some extent, not an expertise, but to some extent we have to be good in handling technology. Next comes life skill. So life skill is very, very, very important, where we find is very populous among populous in the market, job market, what you say. So flexibility, these are basic. Flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. So these five are the, we have so many life skills. So life skills, like it goes a long list, right? So these five are the basic. Okay. So okay, next is, so we have a team, a team building expert by name Tuckman, who has got his own theory on team development. So what he says is, he categorizes this under four: forming, storming, norming, and performing. So forming is like when team members first come together as a team, so they form a team. Next is storming. Storming is like they discover teamwork is more difficult than they expect. So once, a new person, who is a new entrant, when they are put in a team, they'll find it very difficult to fix in the team, because expectations won't meet reality always. Right? Am I right? So in that case, the teamwork, they'll find it very difficult, and it is not up to their expectations. So they will be very oscillated. So next is norming. So they move beyond. This is what you call brainstorming. What we call it is similar to it, storming. So they move from the storming stage, and gradually they try to fix themselves and function as a team member. So the next step is They now function as a high performance team. So this is how step by step, the improvisation, they improve themselves mentally. Yes. So for the college students, team building skills for the college students, we say like attitude of collaboration. So attitude of collaboration. So leadership, communication, conflict resolution. So these four are the major skills that we focus for the college students. So they need to develop the quality of collaboration. So they need to be communicative. So they need to have this quality of taking up responsibility, leadership, what we call. Next, conflict resolution. Difference of views will be there. So this is what we call conflict and how it could be resolved. So we have here under every strategy, we have few like projects, class grades, and positive collaborative attitude. So this is what the attitude of collaboration is. Next is a communication, where practicing confidence, interpersonal skills, sharing ideas, listening, and all those comes under. Next is leadership. Leadership is students, they assert themselves as leaders, and they start delegating tasks there, and they need to develop the skill, practice roles, and this will be available during a group project. And the next is conflict resolution. So when there is difference of opinion, without offending each other, how to come to a consensus. So this is what is important, how to respect others' attitude without hurting them, how to make them understand our viewpoint. Yes. And next is teamwork really essential in higher education? So a small question that would like to rise. So teamwork skills in higher education is university training. So do university training, they contribute to this mastery? A very big question, a very important question. So we have again a diagrammatic representation. So we have all those points that we have discussed here. And universities, when we talk about whether universities do really the syllabus that has been framed, the curriculum, whether it does really help them in going for this team building, right? So they provide ideal environment, they develop team skills, so they can be fostered for formal communication, formal instruction, so non-formal also. So and from the formal education institutions, like they can promote the organization and implementation. So these all lies in how we make our curriculum. So curriculum is fixed. How we are going to make it so that the students learn. Not only they are sound, I mean they are knowledgeable in their studies. They have to be in these skills also, right? So that is what is very very important. So teachers, they can include these skills in the design of the subjects. So research, actually the researchers, there are many research that is being conducted, and they emphasize the role of the specific innovative teaching techniques in the classroom. So unless or otherwise, see, these days we find students they go for training. Not all the students are, they have this affordability. Affordability is there, no? So not all the students are able to afford to go for an exclusive training, post qualification, so that they are ready for the job market. So that could be done by the institution itself. They can have, for example, I'll share my ideas through the end on this, how to execute this in the institution. My ideas I'll share. So project based learning is there, experiential activities is there. So all these contribute. So major team building activities. So trust building, we need to develop trust building activities among the students, communication activities, problem solving, decision making, adaptability. So it is enough if we concentrate on these 5 activities. So we need to, our job here is, we need to develop activities that could satisfy these, right? So in that case, they will be able to learn, right? So how do you lead a team? So we need to make them understand how you are going to lead a team. So they need to develop the leader's mindset, and they need to set up a team to get results. So feedback is there. So leading the team effectively, like managing, how we are going to people management is very, very difficult. So because attitude, so every attitude we need to get along, so that we need to question the students, right? So what is this team building for the students actually? So a small, again, a diagrammatic representation. The basic, what we find here is the basic strategies. Communication, they should be ready to rely each other, the balance. Next is respect. They need to respect each other. They need to listen. Next is conflict. So these five is the basic requirement. These team building exercises, the games we can have, activities. So they are designed to get groups of people working together, and we have a common goal. So all these need to be inculcated. They need to be aware of all these. Students need to be aware of the importance of all this, right? So examples of these team building exercises: escape rooms, we have team trivia. So these are all certain games which are very common. But depending on our students, see, whatever the games I have discussed, the activities I discussed here is only common. So our students' background is there. So it differs from place to place. So depending on our students' background, our students' need, we have to develop our own activities. Yes, my friends. And why these teamwork skills are important? Naturally, communicative, social skills, happier adults, and teaches important skills and life lessons. Next is objectives. Objectives of team building. So promoting company values, creating avenues, and encouraging entrepreneurship. So streamlining internal communication, improving customer relationship, managing change, improving networking, so negotiation skills. So all these are the major objectives of a team building. Next is, what are the pillars? What are the pillars of team building? So pillars is, first is trust. Trust is the base for team building. So people should be willing to trust each other. So commitment. So we are accountable so that we are able to achieve results. Next is, we help the students get to know each other. So this is, they need to mingle with all the people. So this is one of the activity which helps them to move from unfamiliar to the familiar. Okay. So this boosts the culture of the campus. So helping them to step outside of the comfort zone. So everybody is there, like they are in a comfort zone now, because they have their own set of friends. So they are not ready to accept the other category. So that should be this, that is what we call comfort zone. So they have to break that, come out of that comfort zone. Yes. So they have to grow, they have to open up the possibilities, and they have to help them meet, get to know different people through these activities, right? And we have this again, a diagram: positive attitude, building relationship, honesty, open-minded, responsible, conflict. Yes. So next is, here I would like to share few activities here. So whichever is feasible according to our students, we can get along, right? So this activity by name trivia. So this is actually people who don't know each other, right? So what do we do is, so we randomly make them, pair them, so that they meet unknown. Yes. And unknown to the known. Yes. Next is, it is back to back drawing, where it helps in communication. It's also a sort of entertainment for them. Creativity is also there. They sit back to back. Yes, and one student will have a piece of paper with a simple picture, and other student will have a blank paper, right? So because they are sitting back to back, is it not? So the student in the picture, they describe what they are looking at, and the student in the on the other side who is sitting, they have a blank sheet, and they try to draw what the person describes. We have a timer for a few minutes, and then we can compare these two. So they can compare, not we, they can do it. So this is make it is to, it will create a sort of laughter, and in a way bring in contacts. Next is one sentence story. See, these activities are just examples I share with you, right? So one sentence story is there. So where students talking while working together, and they tell a story, and one sentence is being said, and it goes passes on to the group, and everyone adds sentence to it, and they complete the story. Okay, so these actually, this is what during the training period they are being trained in a corporate industry, so that we can do in the institution itself. Yes, and they can be used in the classroom to encourage collaboration, problem solving, and decision making. Yes, so they are not there to involve in any awkward activities, and they are engaged relevant activities, they are being energized, they learn. All these happen, and by accomplishing these group tasks, they learn to listen, trust, support each other, and they also develop life skills there. Instead of being learned from the textbook, they are interactive. And this is a very a good sign for development, and learning to get with the peers is very, very important. They can pick up through, instead of doing memorizing, they are very lively, so they will surely like this. And the fun leadership activities also can be done, and they can develop informal connections. A few more activities I have here. Idea building, so where divide the class in teams, and we can give a problem for them. One team writes a solution and passes the sheets to the other team. So like this, it is being passed from one team to other, and through the end, they find a list of problem solving, what do you call the solutions for the problem, and they learn how to work for a common goal. Yes, so this is another activity. Next is a concentric circle, what we call. We have an outer circle, we have an inner circle, and student inside is paired with one of the student from outside, and we pose a question to the whole group, and they have pair discuss this, and after 2 or 3 minutes, and the students on the outside, they move to the next person, and they go in, this continues, one person to another, and again another question is being posed, so this goes on like this. So this is another activity. And the next is absurd questions, what we call. So this is actually very fictitious statement, and this how they develop in the class, and statements, and all these, it keeps going on. Mm, Next is
Ma'am, your voice is not audible, ma'am. Participants, kindly hold on. Ma'am will be joining with us very soon.
Yes. Sorry, friends. I had a small network issue. Sorry, friends. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it's
Okay.
audible, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Next is, yes, it's the next activity that we can talk about here is, so after we have completed a topic, right? So we can take a concept and divide the class into small groups, and we can ask them, how did this impact your prior knowledge, right? Because every topic, every individual, we may have prior knowledge about it. Yes. So that need to be, that could be discussed. So in that case, we can ask the students before knowing this. So how was your mindset, and now after knowing it, so how was it? So that kind of what you call difference with their attitude. So that could be that we could get it, uh, make it as a activity, and make them come out of what they have. And okay, so the uh, uh, highest valued soft skill by employers, right? So today's employers, they terribly value these skills, right? Integrity, communication, courtesy, responsibility, social skills, so positive attitude, professionalism, so flexibility, teamwork, so creativity, work ethics. So these are all the major soft skills that the employers expect from their new employees. Yes. So we need to make them understand. They can make a self study. We can make the students go for a self appraisal, self study, and find out what are these skills, whether they possess any of these skills. So if not, where do they lack? So how can they improvise? So all these questions can be uh, put forth, so that they'll have an opportunity to think. The problem today is students, they don't think about themselves. They have a notion that yes, whatever we do is right. Yes, they never think, they never analyze whether they are really the action that they do is really right. Right. So that sort of self analysis, we need to give them an opportunity. Next is curricular elective subjects and extracurricular. So these courses, they have proven to be highly effective for teamwork, and these should be promoted and included, right? So extracurricular activities, actually, they are very important. So they I mean, unconsciously, they help the students to learn these skills, right? Because we can find sports students, they are in a team, so they have the team spirit. They are able to give and take attitude. So everything matters there. So they are able to do it. Next is they acquire these skills, like not only through academic practices, through various extracurricular, like when they go for the intercollegiate competition, when they go for any what you call inter both competitions, and various what do you call tech fest and all those. So in that case, they get exposure. On the other side, they work in a team there, because individual activities are very less, individual events are very very minimal in number. So they are put in teams unknowingly, and unconsciously they develop this skill, right? And next is, okay, it has been observed that extracurricular activities have shown positive, as I told you, extracurricular activities, they show positive impact, right? And university students, they acquire this when they are engaged in sport, voluntary art like NCC, NSS, and all those, and designing projects, long-term workshops. So supposingly we organize any conference, workshop, students unconsciously develop this quality. And when they participate any cultural event, so they develop this. And it is a very important question. Tell about yourself, because this is the first interview question that is being asked by anywhere they go. This is the first interview question. So this is good for the team as beginners, because it helps them to analyze themselves, for which they spend time. Where do we stand? What do we actually possess? What are those that we don't possess? Both. Yes. So this question should be asked frequently. So they'll have interesting fact about themselves. So they'll try to circle, they'll try to think what is it that they really possess, they don't have. So a sort of mind storming. Yes, this is very important. And what is it that makes a good team naturally? So, like how we oil a machine, the lubrication. So, the same way, it need to be oiled. So, in what way you can oil it? Developing rapport, communication. Everything exists only when communication happens, right? So, this students should understand, because, like when I said right at the beginning, students before pandemic, students after, post pandemic, and pre pandemic. Today, they are more exposed to technology rather than individuals. So communication happens in a different way, not interpersonal. It happens through technology. So this is different. This is different. Yes. So that distinguish, they need to understand. Yes, and focus on a common goal, and everyone participates equally and enthusiastically. These are all the what you call requirements uh, that satisfies a good team. Next is higher education institutions. We highlight the necessity of hard and soft skills. Yes, so hard skill is what they learn, the subject knowledge. Yes, and the experience that they needed for the job. Soft skill is this interpersonal qualities, all those skills, life skills, the personal attribute, personal quality, behavior. We have a conducive environment, carry out work professionally, achieve goals. So all these, we have a long list for soft skills. Yes, it goes comma, comma, comma. So these traditional, when it competes with the traditional hard skills. So today, even they have the subject knowledge. If at all they possess these soft skills, surviving in a working environment is very, very difficult. Yes. So this should be understood. Next is, there are many studies that are designed to observe teamwork, and they should consider the country's social and cultural context, because social and cultural context alone determines individuals' behavior and attitude. Yes, so this students should understand. Next is the gaining close attention, considering like essential competencies. Globalized, we have to be dynamic, and the employees, they are being asked if they have team work skills, for any prior experience of working in a team. Yes, that's why these days, like students go for internship, they go for any implant training, research, so that at that time they are there in team. Yes, and a few tips I have for better teamwork. Yes, so the first thing is, right from the left, we'll start from the left. Team understand the goal and they are committed to attaining them. Yes. Next is coming to this side, communication. It should be open, honest, and respectful. Next, again, coming this side, it should have creativity, innovation, different viewpoints, and everything should be of different that is expected. Uh, and this side here, people are comfortable taking reasonable risk. So risk is there, risk factor is there in all the work. So if the risk factor arises, they cannot run away. They have to face it, and they have to make it comfortable so that they can prove their individuality, their competency there. It is an opportunity to prove themselves. So that should be understood by the team members. Yes. Next is members of the team, they make high quality decisions together. So togetherness is very, very important. It is not only for the working environment, so even in the personal life. So we can correlate this for the students, personal life and the workplace life. So for both places, we need team. Yes. And yes. And here, before I conclude, I want to share few points on this. That is, students in general, what they do is, um, you can ask me, like you have given so many, how to incorporate all this. So you say like you want to do this in the classroom, how to do it. So my suggestion here is, personal suggestion here is, in our timetable, the schedule, we can have one or two classes, one minimum, maximum two classes for what you call developing these skills. Yes. So where every week we can go in for activities, we can have these as what you call condensed, in a condensed form. We can have these as handouts for them. We can have develop our own activities, because activities differ from one place to another. As I said, it depends on the student's background, because students from my place will be of different background and students from your place will be of different background. So we cannot go for a common activity. So we have to be creative. We faculty have to be creative, and we need to develop activities in such a way that it fixes for our students, right? So in that case, we can have activities there. For example, this week we can take teamwork. Next week we can take for decision making. So next, that's what I said. Every week we can allot two classes. So apart from the regular classes, every week two classes. Among the 5 or 6 almost every one of us, we have 6 working days. So just two classes in a week is not so difficult. So we can allot and train them simultaneously, because all these certain instances for certain topics only we can train in the classroom. The other than that, we cannot bring this under curriculum. Yes. So outside curriculum, in the sense, we need to have these like what you call personality development class, or what you call pre-training class, in pre-interview training, whatever we can call. We can name it under any brand. But the thing is, the substance is the same. One week we go for decision making, one week we go for conflict resolution. We have to create conflicts, and we need to find how they are able to resolve it. Right. Next is, we can 1 week we can go in for cooperative learning. Yes, creating activities for cooperative learning. So like this, like every week, that's what I said, two classes. So every week two classes, one category we choose, we can easily, smoothly, we can make them get ready to face the interview when they come for the final year, because we have to start this right from the first year. So only then gradually they'll improve. All of a sudden, when the third year comes, we make them train one full day, or we train them for one full month training. So this is not sufficient. This should go gradually. because communication skills will develop only when it is done gradually, when it is done step by step. All of a sudden, or one fine morning, not they can be, I mean, they cannot be an efficient or effective communicators. It comes only through rigorous practice, and for this rigorous practice we have to make this as a part of the timetable, so that gradually even the person, the last below average person in the class, will be able to communicate to some extent through the end of the process, probably when they reach the final year. So this is how the step by step classes could be done, and this is my viewpoint, and this would come out effectively for sure. For example, we can have even a small one act play enactment, so which will pave way for this teamwork. One act play, they can come with the costume, they can take their one any play, they can even rewrite the dialogues, and they can make it they can make any sort of modification, they can come and enact it on the stage, so that the others also will gain confidence looking at them. So basic thing is confidence. So confidence could be developed for them only when they communicate with each other, when they are committed, and when they are creative, right? Innovation, everything is important. So we give them an opportunity. We are here to give them opportunity always, so that they are able to achieve it. Yes, my friends. So this is what I want to share about this topic. So rest is